Hi, I'm going to go through how we use in the field our critical details, a tool that we developed with Advanced Energy a few years back and we've adopted into our Arizona State field guides. So this is our field guide here. I'll give you just a real brief description right here on how it works exactly, and then you're going to see how we use it and the whole process actually happens in the field. So right below the title, we have a contents page, which just takes you to the basic sections. So if I wanted to talk about duct repair, for example, I could just click the number here. It'll jump me ahead to duct repair. I'm doing this on my desktop right now, but this absolutely works as long as you're using Adobe Reader. It'll work on a phone, a tablet, whatever. All these links will work for that as well, which you'll see in reality here shortly. So in this section here, we've got some health and safety stuff to be concerned about. We have some duct sealing checklists, things that we want to make sure that every auditor has inspected when he does his audit, make sure it's all checked or, not applicable if that's the case. Some helpful little job aid tools, for the auditors, say, northwest corner of the house, we have a large hole on a rigid duct. We can just put little notes in here, and we can save all this and send it back to the office for the trucks to be loaded or for whoever's going to do the work. All these are editable, so we can put in whatever tools or materials we use. As long as the materials meet the specs, you can use whatever you want. So we're not saying you have to use ductboard or you have to use a particular brand of mastic. It's just you put in what you use using your own lingo. And this remains editable, so if I'm out doing an audit and I'm looking at something that needs to be sealed up on a duct system and this picture's not quite representative or there's some variation and I may need a different tool or a different type of material to really get the job done right, while I'm in the field with my phone or tablet, I can also add in whatever else I might need. Say I need a big hammer because something's really bent and I got to make sure a hammer gets on the truck, then I can do that. Below that page, we have the step-by-step process that walks you through how to seal this particular type of duct. Okay, there's a little bit of text on above each picture that kind of explains it, just in case the picture isn't 100% clear on what to do. And whenever possible, we included the tools you will need into the pictures so that the person loading the truck is reminded and the person doing the work is reminded that these tools are necessary in some of these spots. The most important feature we built into these was the SWS itself. So at the title of each critical detail, we've put the SWS number in there as well so you can look it up. And as long as you have cell service or Wi-Fi wherever you're at, and there's something here you want to double check in the specs just to make sure, just click the number and it'll open it up right into the SWS site. And then I can verify a question I may have had about some sort of variation I saw. And if, I can see here that, okay, maybe I shouldn't be using a big hammer on these ducts or something like that. I can verify it here and then go right back to work. And then I can, of course, fill all this out and I can just send it from my tablet or phone back to the office so that they can start putting the materials and tools on the truck or doing what they do there. At the bottom of every page there's a return to index. And what that does is it doesn't bring you to the contents page, which is the sections. It brings you to the master critical detail list. So these are all just the basic critical details, which makes it really easy if you're crawling through an attic and you got this on your phone. You can just hit any one of these numbers with your thumb and it'll just pull that exact particular spec up for you. So let's say we want to look at, we found a house that needs a new exhaust fan where there wasn't one previously. I click the link, that's what I'm looking at, that's what I want it to look like when it's done. Step by step for the crew on how to physically get the work done. All of these have been vetted and compared back to the standard work specs, and this takes you all the way through to actually testing it at the end to make sure you've met your ASHRAE standards. And again, if I have any issues with this and I'm not sure about something, or if I'm in the crew and I'm not sure of something, I just have to click that SWS number. It'll open it up right to that spec, and then we can see here that everything I need to know is right there on the actual spec. Okay? So that's how those work. Now let's go out and see how we actually use these in the field.